Hi guys, this is MGS Warrior 2, and I've got another Pokemon Online battle. This one is against CCC. He leads off with Tornadus, and it was able to hit Focus Blast on my Tyranitar. But the Chople Berry that my Tyranitar was holding weakened the power of Focus Blast and went for the Crunch. Did a major damage to his Tornadus, but his Tornadus hit a critical hit Focus Blast on my Gastrodon that I switched into. So Gastrodon had to be offered as death fodder at that point because of the crit. So I send out my own Genie, which is my Landorus. It's Scarfed. I try to go for Stone Edge, but he switches into his Fortress, his Physical Wall, which was a good play on his part. He decides to set up some entry hazards. He has Stealth Rocks that he has set up. So here I went for a sub, but he went for a Volt Switch so that he can switch out of Magnet Pool. So he switched out into his Scizor, and it takes a Hidden Power Fire, and that was a one-hit KO. I'm not too sure why he switched into Scizor. So I guess that was a bad play on his part. So he goes into Dragonite and gets an Earthquake off to break the sub. I go for Thunderbolt just to break Dragonite's multi-scale ability. Now he switches out into his Politoed, and he makes it rain. So I got into my Cofagrigus, and he also switches. He goes out into his Fortress, and I got the Will-O-Wisp on his Fortress, which is not bad because it gives Fortress some residual damage each turn. So now I try to Magnet Pull trap Fortress again, but I guess he predicted my zone switch, so he used Volt Switch to switch out of Magnet Pull and go back into his Dragonite, which is something that scares away my Magnezone because of Earthquake. So I go into my Scarf Landorus so that he can be immune to Earthquake, and that was a free switch in. So he switches back into his Fortress as I went for the Hidden Power Ice to try to take out Dragonite. So far we're both playing it safe here. We're not over-predicting yet. So Fortress tried to go over Volt Switch, but I predicted that, and I went into my Eye Pinch, my Gliscor. This gives me a free sub because he has to switch out. And that is a great play because he's forced to break my sub, and then I went for the Acrobatics, which is increased in power thanks to the flying gem that is being held by Gliscor. So he switched into his Politoed. I went to my Tyranitar, mostly to change the weather back to sand. He went for the Surf, and my Dino held on with 2%. I decided to switch so that I can set up sand later on if I have to. So he went for the Surf on my incoming Magnezone, and Politoed was able to 2-hit KO my Magnezone with Surf. So this might be a Scarf Politoed from the looks of it. Not 100% sure on that. So I tried to Earthquake his Politoed, but he switched out into his Fortress, and thanks to the burn, Fortress goes down. Now he switches back into his Politoed as the Drizzle ability activates, making it rain again. And I tried to make it the weather change, but because of Stealth Rock, that prevents Sandstream from working before Tyranitar stays on the field because he got hit by Stealth Rocks. So I went for Will-O-Wisp on Politoed, and that gives that residual damage. But my Cofagrigus is history thanks to another Surf. So I'm being in a tight spot here against this Politoed. I thought an Earthquake might be able to finish it off, but Politoed held on with 1% of HP, and now it goes down to the burn. So my back is up against the wall here with Gliscor, and I'm up against his last two Pokemon. And I'm up against Dragonite. I decided to go for a sub to scout his move, and he went for Outrage. So I decided I had to attack, so I went for Acrobatics. So luckily for me, I got a critical hit, which is definitely needed to finish off his Dragonite, and he sends out his Breloom as death fodder to Gliscor's Acrobat, and I won another close battle. And that's the way it goes. I'm pretty dangerous at the end of games usually. So that was a really fun match. I would have lost if it wasn't for that acrobatics crit on Dragonite. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching. Comment, like, sub, and see you guys next time.